last thing that has been keeping me occupied this month is, unfortunately, some work stress. And for this, I am going to have a sip of my tea because, oh my goodness, there is some tea. Oh, that's nice. My tea, for anyone curious, is chocolate digestive tea from a little so many more reasons than just having a break from work and, fixing my mental health. Like, I had the chance to do some really, really emotionally productive things for me, which I'd been putting off for a little while, and even just had like a cleaning session with my partner where we cleaned the room and sorted all the little spaces that, objects just get jammed into because you're like, right, well, I'll sort this out another time. And just like put some stuff up in the attic that didn't need to be in the room, and just, it looks and feels so much better now, and it's not perfect, but it's so much nicer to live in. So, had lots of wins like that over the last week that I took off for my mental health, so yay me. I also got to catch up over not just last week but April in general, with lots and lots of friends and loved ones that I just hadn't been able to hang out with in a while. And I think, again, like the cleaning stuff, it just got like delayed and prolonged and stacked up, and then early April time there was this week where I had like somehow 4 days in a row where I was catching up with different people on the phone. So I had a friend from Edinburgh, I had my mum, I had a friend who lives in Canada, so that one was a bit of a nightmare to try and figure out logistically. And then I also had, I think, another friend of mine that I was trying to organise a catch up with. It was just so much like logistical planning, and honestly lovely to be able to catch up with all these people that I just hadn't been able to see in a while, and just needed to have a wee like check in with and see how like their lives were going, and wanted to feel connected to my people again. So that was really lovely, but like 4 days in a row of catch ups is pretty intense. So it was amazing and much needed, but my social battery this last month has been very up and down, very, very much in flux. So, and I brought it on myself, so what else? There's nothing I can do really. Nothing really I can do. But yeah, I need a sip of tea to regulate after all that giggling and whispering. Also, I realised we're getting to maybe halfway or a third through the video, and I haven't talked about these bad boys that I am wearing on my face. These bad boys. That sounds quite loud, maybe just that's better. There we go. These bad boys I bought on Vinted. My saviour, my holy grail. I'm an atheist, but it's a spiritual experience for me when you find something that you've been looking for ages, because my original sunglasses that I started my channel with got lost in the post, which was really sad. I left them somewhere, they got posted to me, and they never arrived. So these guys I bought a few weeks back, and I love them. I love how they are slightly oversized. I love that they just like make any outfit a little bit funky and like they're just very me. I think like I'm really, really a fan of how much light they block out, so the sun doesn't become overstimulating to me, which is awesome. A big win. And I just think they're adorable, really. I'm so excited to try these with like a bright red lip. I think that'll be so fun. I don't even know if that's gonna come across as loud to you guys, but it feels very loud to me right now. But yeah, these are the new sunglasses. I'm wondering, should I name them? They have such like a character and a presence to them that maybe I should actually be naming them. I don't know. You guys let me know if you think they deserve a name. But yeah, these are the new sunnies. I love them. about a week before it was due to happen. Came in that morning, all like psyched up to have a needle stabbed into my arm, and then I was waiting in the area, got called through, and it was like not the person I'd expected to be there, and they were like, yeah, we don't really know how this happened because we can't take your bloods. And I was like, okay, why and how come? And they were like, yeah, so you did the right thing, you like ordered yourself this appointment, which is great, and you're able to book in, that's great, but because your doctor didn't like order you this test, we can't actually do it. Like, we can send a request through today for it to be done, but like you'll have to wait around to see if he's free later on. Like, he needs to be able to approve it, and we need to be free to do it. So I was just very confused and quite angry, honestly. Like, it was a big change of plan, and it wasn't making me feel great because my iron tablets had run out the night before, and I wasn't really like living the fantasy of like, oh, I'll probably be able to get it done today, like maybe it'll work out, maybe they'll have like some free time, and maybe the doctor will just magically like have lots of time and see the email and approve it, and I'll get it done within the next like few hours. I wasn't really like believing that, so I was like, okay, thanks for letting me know. Walked upstairs to my GP's like receptionist, and I was like, hi, this is the situation, and she looked really confused by it, and with her I booked an appointment for the next week. So it was a few days after that day, and I was like, what is the point of me doing this to get my blood levels checked when I've run out of iron tablets? So we're not going to know what my iron levels actually are, having taken the meds. Like, it's not going to be accurate. So my brain was like, this doesn't make any sense. Like, why the doctor not give me my test? And I guess it just happens sometimes. Like, they ask you to come back for a blood test, and then they forget to actually like order the test themselves. Anyway, I ended up getting my bloods checked, and surprise, surprise, when I finally had the test, they were like, yeah, you're still a little iron deficient, so you'll get more iron pills prescribed to you. And I was like, well, are we surprised? Like, it wasn't even an accurate test, so even if it had upped my iron levels, we might not even have found out that. So that was a whole nightmare and kerfuffle, but we made it through. I'm taking my iron tablets daily now. I have an ever-increasing list of multivits and just general like supplements that I'm taking, and yeah, it just keeps growing longer in order to, I guess, stay healthy, which, it's got to be done. Anyway, the final thing that was taking up so much time this last month, and not necessarily just taking up time as in like I was spending lots of time doing this thing, but more so it was occupying my headspace and I was thinking about it a lot, was that a course that I was thinking of applying for a few months actually finally opened up its applications, and they opened on the 1st of April. So I saw this, I think it was maybe like a week before they like notified me saying that this the applications will open up on the 1st of April, and I was like, oh my goodness. For context, it's a course hosted by a university, but it's like a skills-based course that lasts from about September to next June, so September 2025 to June 2026, and it's basically helping to promote skills in people who want to apply for a future like higher learning course in that area. So this specific skills course, I was like, I can't do any more like degrees in without this skill, like without this specific course. It's actually like, it's a prerequisite for a degree course that I future course, and I was just feeling very much the pressure of I need to get my application like written. I want to start it like as soon as possible, but this was while all the work stuff, the work stress was happening. I felt like I didn't really have that much like peace of mind and time that I was like relaxed and in a good place to like write my application, because this application consisted of a lot of open-ended questions that you had to write answers to, and they actually said on the application form, writing short answers is likely to hinder your application. So it was like these needed to be thought out, they needed to have like some like substance to them, like they couldn't just be wishy-washy, and they were all like super relevant to the actual course itself. So when the applications opened and they went live on April 1st, I was immediately like, oh my god, not freaking out as much as just like just immediately feeling this sense of pressure of like, I need to get my applications in soon. Like the website says they need to go, like they need to be sent in as soon as possible because they just fill up very quickly. However, it took me about 3 weeks in total to write my application, to have it like read through multiple times, and I read through it with my partner as well, who like, you know, gave me some advice and like, you know, things to like, he didn't necessarily say things to include, but he was like, you know, this could be worded a little bit better and all of that kind of thing. And so I got it proofread, which is nice, very sweet of my partner to do. And then I had like a big day of that, like just reading through it, changing things. I felt a lot more confident in the quality of my application, and then I was like, right, I am going to send this off today. Like, I'm not gonna let it hang over me another day. And so I did, and it was just the best feeling ever. And then within a week I heard back from the course with essentially them saying, your first choice day that you can take this course, because it's part-time, so they had lots of different options for when you can actually take it, like on what day of the week you're doing it. They said your first option is full up, we can put you on the wait list, however your second option has a place like available for you, would you like it? So basically just saying like, your application was good enough, you've gotten on. And I was just like, oh, thank God it was strong enough for them, because I really wasn't sure what caliber of applicant I was going to be up against for this course. And so I was thrilled to bits and just felt really good that I have like the next thing in place, like the next step is there in my career, all the stepping stones in my future. Like I feel like super good about getting onto it. And I think I found out that I got onto it either like while I was like going to work or at work. And so I remember like feeling like, okay, I'm gonna treat myself when I get home, because I felt really good and proud of myself for how that application process was. And yeah, I don't know, just I was really thrilled about it. But that was another thing that over the course of the month really just kind of was looming over my head of like, you really should have got it in by now, you really should have like, you know, even if it wasn't like perfect, you should have sent it off. But I'm a perfectionist and I really wanted to send off like the strongest possible application, I guess. So yeah, that's what I ended up doing. I'm just thinking now actually that it feels quite similar to how I felt about this channel over the course of the month, like in terms of the shame and the kind of guilt over not recording and not uploading my videos, because like I think it was nearly a week since I recorded, so this would have been early April, and I remember thinking to myself like, oh my goodness, you really need to like get the next video like shot, and you need to have it edited and you need to upload it. It's nearly been a week. And then of of sense of anxiety just kind of built over time, and before I knew it, it was a fortnight since I last uploaded, and I was like, oh my god, you're like even more behind now. And I think that actually focusing on that had a really like unhealthy effect on me, because it made me feel less motivated to film. Like, it made me feel so stuck and helpless in that kind of like, oh, it's already been so long. And now it's been over a month, and this is the first time I've sat down here and actually recorded something in so long. So it is weird how the brain works. I think sometimes by putting so much pressure on ourselves, like, we really actually just have the opposite effect. Like, we actually, it's like counterproductive really is the word. It's just really not very healthy, and yeah, I don't know, just wasn't very helpful for me at all while I was having a bit of a difficult month. So yeah, I'm really glad that April is over. I'm glad that May is starting, because I don't know if you can kind of tell, but it's actually really sunny in Scotland right now. Like, I can put my arm back and like it's in sunshine. It's in sunshine. Like, the sun is out. And so I've been trying to spend as much time outside in the sun as I can, really. Which I don't normally do. I'm not very good at doing that. I'm such an introvert, and I don't know, I'm bad at just being like loosey-goosey, like, oh, the weather's actually turned really nice right now, let's go outside, even if it's for an hour. I'm just really bad at that. It's something I need to get better at. I like just sticking to plans I have, and I'm rarely planning my day around the weather. So the few days that I've made it out and I've like sat in the park while it's been really lush and warm and very little wind, there's been cold, I've just been so happy to just bask in the sun. Like, I think we forget how, as humans, we are just like plants, and that like sitting in the sunshine is really good for us. Like, it boosts your mood and has such like a good effect on you. Like, I at least I have forgotten that, and to actually have the sun out in a city that is not very much known for its weather, it's made such a huge, like, it's had such a huge impact on me and my like mental health even. I'm like, oh yeah, maybe that's actually part of why I have struggled over the last few months with mental health stuff, because like, it's just been dreary up until recently, and then suddenly it feels like summer's coming and it's here, and I don't know, I'm just really enjoying myself. I don't know, really enjoying things, enjoying being out in the sun. I want to do more reading intentionally outside, and I obviously want to do more creative stuff for you guys and put myself